Hey guys, Dr. J here! In the previous episode we entered Neptune's bounty and found out Atlas's family was kept in a submarine in the foundations of Fontaine Fisheries. We tried going there, but were stopped by its current occupant, Peach Wilkins. He wants us to get the research camera from the Wharfmaster's office and snap him a few photos of the spider splicers before he allows us entry into the fisheries. In the meantime, we managed to kill 3 more Big Daddies and saved their little sisters. Not only that, but we are now using a Big Daddy as a bodyguard, thanks to the hypnotized Big Daddy plasmid we got from the little sisters. The plan for today is to enter the Wharfmaster's office and try to find that research camera.
Thank you.
Now that the room is cleared, let's do our usual looting. I think I've mentioned this before, but sometimes the audio diaries are inside dead bodies.
We picked up Timmy Yates right after midnight. Either Ryan will be taking down Fontaine, or Fontaine will be taking down Ryan. We'll be interviewing poor Timmy near Fontaine Fisheries. If you're up for entertainment, the code's 5380.
Darling Masha, we don't know what has happened to you. Ryan's men have taken you away and said you are needed to save Rapture. Who needs a child to save a city? But I see these little girls crawling out of these vents, and I only wonder if you might one day crawl out of this vent and find this note. We look for you, but if you find this, come to us at the Fighting McDonald's in room number 7. The code to our room is 7533. We miss you, darling child.
I saw one of the smugglers having a game of catching on the docks today. This surprised me because his hands were crippled during the war. He was unloading the barge the other day when he was bitten from the sea slug. He woke up the next morning and he found he could move his fingers for the first time in years. I asked him if he still had that sea slug. As luck would have it. He did.
Okay, so that was quite a bit of information at once. So the first audio log was mainly some flavor text as well as a hint about the torture chamber below the fisheries. It also contained the code for the lock as well. In the second one, it was strongly hinted that the little sisters were simply little girls kidnapped by Ryan and turned for whatever reason into the creatures we are now trying to rescue. And the last one was about the discovery of Adam and how Dr. Tenenbaum found out about its miraculous properties. By the way, for anyone keeping count, the little sister we just saved was number 5. We don't really need anything from the vending machine right now. Let's grab the audio log left of the machine.
This Fontaine fellow is somebody to watch. Once he was just a menace, to be convicted and hung. But he always manages to be where the evidence isn't. He's the most dangerous type of hoodlum. The kind with vision.
Looks like we've reached the Wharfmaster's office.
The research camera looks just like one you'd see topside. According to this magazine Airsky scratched up, it can also analyze genetic information, parse biological structures, lots of other $5 words.
Quite a few turrets here. As usual, it's best to prioritize them and hack them as quickly as possible. Not only will that stop them from attacking us, but they will also help with any splicers in the vicinity. I should have just used cash to hack these rocket turrets. It only costs 15 bucks. Finally, yeesh. That sure took a while. Next is the camera. I had no more patience for hacking. Another turret in front of the interrogation room, and I believe this was the last turret here. Once we deal with it, it's time to sweep for any remaining splicers. Looks like I was wrong. There is another rocket turret over there. This one is quite a bit more difficult to hack. It would cost us way too much money, so it's best to just manually hack it. It's annoying and a waste of time, but what can you do? Okay, now we should be fine. Let's finish off the splicers and check the place for any loot. Also, the effect of the hypnotized plasmid wore off, so I had to reapply it. One of the rocket turrets seems to be shooting at something. Meh, I don't really care much about it. It's more than capable of taking care of whatever it is that it's shooting on its own. I'll go clockwise, keeping along this wall, and check the rest of this place. Some crates here? This rocket turret was probably destroyed by my own. Once my allies start attacking an enemy, they'll keep on him even if we turn it to friendly. It was probably this fight between the turrets that we've been hearing. Let's check out what's on the other side of this shaft. The camera is pretty high up there, but we should be able to reach it. There we go. We also have an audio lock and a safe here.
Hanging now, is it? That's what we've come to? Now look, I don't make the laws here, I just enforce them. But I didn't come to Rapture to string men up for running contraband. If Ryan and his crew have their law, then they can have my badge.
Looks like Sullivan had quite a change of heart. From, you can have my badge if you want to hang people, to, let's have some fun torturing Timmy. And this is the end of the usefulness of this Big Daddy. Unfortunately, he can't quite make it through the hole in the wall. And by the time we are done here, the hypnotized Big Daddy plasmid would have worn off, so we'll probably need to find a new one. Okay, here's the research camera. Let's see what else we can find here and then grab it. A couple of first aid kits seem to be the only useful items here, besides the research camera.
Good, you got the camera. Now get me some snaps on those spider splicers. And don't come back down here till you got my research.
Okay, so the research camera opens up a whole new aspect of the game. Each and every enemy and machine can be researched by taking photos of them. Every entity has several levels of research, and on each one's completion you get some kind of reward. It can be a damage increase on this particular enemy or even a tonic. Looks like this is the new exit for the Wharfmaster's office, which means that once we drop from here we won't be able to go back there. I'll get back to the research in a bit, but first I want to talk about this plasmid we just got. It's another extremely useful plasmid, though it's kind of tricky to use. What it does is force the sentry bots or turrets to attack a specific target. This is especially useful if you trip an alarm and is extremely useful in a particular level. Now back to the research camera. Whenever you take a photo, you get a certain score. The better the photo, the better the score. In general, if you're closer to the object, the score will be higher. Also, you get a score multiplier if the object is performing some kind of action, or if there are multiple objects in the frame. By the way, the alarm we're hearing is because the camera we've hacked has locked on a splicer. I'll get back to the research camera after this audio log.
Together all the crazy ideas I've had since the war. It doesn't just heal damaged cells, it can be reborn white, tall, short, weak, strong. But the slugs alone are not enough. I'll need money. And one other thing.
So yeah, for each subsequent photo, the score gets a diminishing return. Usually what I do is spam the camera until I get 4 photos. You don't use a film if the photo is not good enough to give you points, so there's no penalty for spamming. There are separate achievements for each type of enemy that is completely researched, so try to take as much photos as possible. Keep in mind that while most enemies respawn, that's not the case for cameras and turrets, so technically they are missable achievements. And there's also a limited amount of little sisters you can encounter, but there are quite a lot of them, so it shouldn't be a problem.
You have the research camera? Good. Guess it's time to get to work for old Peachy. Take the man's pictures, and let's get the hell out of this place.
If things weren't bad enough, it seems that even our water system sprung a leak. Yep, that's right. Irrigation system in Arcadia is taking on seawater. I told Mr. Ryan when we were building this place, either you build her like a bathtub, or she's gonna turn into a sewer. No, McDonough, he said. We're not gonna build no bathtub. We're gonna build Eden.
Okay, so our next goal is to take photos of 2 more spider splicers. They are the tanky splicers we've been encountering and not being able to kill. We've already explored most of the level, so let's head to the fighting McDonald's. Yeah, that's the same guy we just heard from the audio log. And meanwhile, we got the Scrounger tonic. What it does is it gives us the option to refresh the loot found in bodies or containers. It doesn't give you more loot, but if we find something we don't like, we can change it to something potentially useful. Let's not forget to pick up the audio log on the bench. Well, it seems he was quite a big shot, but in the end, he did lose to Andrew Ryan. Okay, now back to the Scrounger tonic. Personally, I didn't find it particularly useful. There's more than enough loot even on Survivor difficulty. I almost missed the audio lock on this desk.
The death penalty in Rapture. Council's in an uproar. Riots in the streets, they say. But this is the time for leadership. Action must be taken against the smugglers. Contact with the surface exposes Rapture to the very parasites we fled from. A few stretched necks or a small price to pay for our deals.
Ryan doesn't seem to mind getting some blood on his hands. I guess that's how he defeated Fontaine. I did say we were going to head to the fighting McDonald's, but this place here also looks interesting, so I wanted to check it out before going to the tavern. By the way, the spider splicers make a very distinctive sound when crawling on the ceilings. Now about the film. Each successful photo uses a film. There's quite a lot you can just loot, and it's also cheaply available in most vending machines. Let's rummage through the rest of the room and then head back towards the tavern. That's an annoying placement for the camera. There's no way to reach it, so I'll have to destroy it. Well, that's a nice surprise. We got a 2-for-1 sale on this photo. Seems like a spider splicer was trying to ambush us. But let's finally bag one of those and then deal with the security camera. The perk we just got from this level of research gives us a chance of obtaining first aid kits from dead spider splicers. It is actually quite useful. After doing some research on them, we have started doing some damage, but they're still pretty tough. Thank God we have Sentry Bot with us, otherwise it would take quite a while. Good, now let's check the rest of the room. Yeah, and that was the bonus first aid kit I mentioned. Oh yeah, we could have used the anti-personnel rounds, but like I said, we do have a sentry bot, so no point in wasting resources. I'll have to use an electro bolt. No way will I be able to reach the camera before it starts the alarm. Let's take a couple more photos. And now we'll just have to destroy it. Almost didn't make it thanks to our friendly security bot. We're done with the hazards in this room, so we can search it in peace. Oh, we actually had a security panel here. We could have used it if the camera started an alarm to shut it off. But that would cost us some money. And these panels are the only contraptions we can't hack. Which is kind of weird now that I think about it. We did get some nice loot from our little side trip here. Nothing essential, but still. Time to head to the fighting McDonald's and hopefully find the last spider splicer we need. The sentry bot seems to be stuck again. Let's go unstuck it. I guess I'll just reboot him. That should be enough. Yep, seems to be fine now. And finally we can get back on track. Just making sure I didn't lose the bot again. Straight ahead from here is the tavern. Awesome, that's the last spider splicer we needed. Let's take some photos before he has a chance to escape. Okay, so technically we can now go back to Peach Wilkins and continue with the story. But let's first go through the tavern. I'm sure there will be some goodies there as well. And we've got another research level completed. Oh, we most definitely will go back to Fountain Fisheries. I mean, how can we refuse when Atlas is so polite? Oh, we're starting with this "would you kindly." There's just something magical in this phrase. I'll just buy some film from the vending machine. We're good on supplies otherwise. Another leadhead splicer we can do some research on. Okay, time to kill him now. At this point, I don't think we really need to conserve ammo anymore. We're mostly relying on the bots and Big Daddies anyway. Instead of entering through the main entrance, let's see what we can find in this shaft over here. Oops, almost missed the audio diary.
I met Ryan the day me and the lads were installing the bathroom plumbing up in his Posh Park Avenue digs. Oi, says he, what's with all the brass fittings? General contractor had me down for the tip. Well, I says, I suppose it's the contractor then who'll be bailing out your loot once a fortnight, is it? If it's price you're worried about, I'll be picking up the brass, so not to worry, Squire. And why would you be doing that, says he? Well, Mr. Ryan, profit or not, no man bells water out of previous built by Bill McDonough. Next day I finds out I'm Ryan's new general contractor.
Those brass fittings sure turned out to be a good investment. Anyways, we're now in the basement of the Fighting McDonald's. I think I'll start exploring the tavern from here. Oh, by the way, we got the Static Discharge 2 tonic as a reward for the research. Like its previous version, it's a good tonic and could be used in place of the wrench jockey. It does make destroying the first aid stations a real pain in the ass though. The basement being flooded makes it a bit difficult to see if there are any items on the floor. Let's switch to the shotgun again, since we've got full ammo. Some more items in these barrels. And it's now time to destroy this first aid station. That sure is taking a while. Sheesh. As you can see, without the range jockey, it takes way too long to deal with the stations. Let's try the door on the right. Okay, another diary.
Rapture's changing, but Ryan can't see the wolves in the woods. This Fontaine fellow, he's a crook and a proper tea leaf, but he's got the atom, and that makes him the governor. Sinking the profits back into bigger and better plasmids, building them Fontaine poorhouses, like Fontaine recruiting centers. What we know here, bloke's gonna have an army of splicers. We're gonna have ourselves a whole heap of miseries.
That turret was very sneaky. I thought I'd heard someone, so that's why I went to check, but it seems I was wrong. Let's hack the safe now. Great, another auto-hack tool. Oh, I did hear someone after all. This is one of those triggered spawns I mentioned before. Usually the best way to deal with the leadhead splicers is to get right in their face. They'll start either trying to dodge you or using melee, which is much better than letting them shoot at you. Now let's try the door across. Seems like we'll need to shock it first. Okay, so this leads us to the main hall of the tavern. We've got a few splicers here as well as some audio diaries. Whatever happened to our sentry bot? He's probably stuck somewhere again. I guess we'll have to deal with the enemies inside the tavern ourselves. I think I'll change to the machine gun again to use up some ammo. Oh, there you are! Where were you, mate? Right, let's get back to searching for loot. Okay, I think we've just the audio diaries left.
I'm closing in on the whole ring. I'd pat myself on the back, but let's face it, these aren't exactly bloodthirsty desperados we're talking about. Rapture's full of poets, artists, and tennis players, not hired guerrillas. But this leader of theirs, this Fontaine, he seems to know his way around the grift. He keeps his nose clean, but not so clean that the right people don't know he's not to be trifled with.
Diane, my dear, I'm sorry, but I'll be late again tonight. Rosenberg is demanding to speak about this Fontaine. I'm trying to build a proper financial market, and this idiot keeps going on about this, genetic modification, that. I'll go spend an hour pretending to pay attention to the poor fellow and be home as soon as I can.
Well, it seems like Rosenberg managed to get Ryan's attention after all. Initially, I thought this was the New Year's Eve night when Diane McClintock was in the bar that was attacked by the terrorists, but it doesn't really fit the timeline. That attack happened after Fontaine had died, and in this audio diary, Ryan didn't even know about Adam. Okay, I think we're done with the first floor. Let's go upstairs. Awesome, another nitro splicer. They are relatively rare, so I try to use every opportunity to get some research done. I mean, in this level, we see them quite often, but later on, they are kind of difficult to encounter. I probably should have just used the telekinesis plasmid. And it seems I've woken up a few splicers. Let's deal with them before entering the rooms here.
Thankfully the security bot is still following us. Wait, where did he go? This sentry bot is really useless. Let's at least grab some first aid kits from this health station. Anytime now. Okay, now let's go find this guy. Seriously, where is he? Maybe he went down on the ground floor? Nope, not here. Dude, where did he go? Whatever, I'm not wasting any more time. Let's go check the guest rooms. Let's start with room number 5. Ah, I hear the spider splicer crawling around. Let's hack the safe and see if we can find him. I should probably start using plasmids a bit more often, seeing as how we're full on Eve hypos. Let's see what we'll find here. Not bad, some special ammo and another Eve hypo. There's the spider splicer. Okay, so while this is supposed to be the same spider splicer that we encountered in front of the fighting McDonald's, in reality he is not. So we can do some more research on him. Before filling him full of lead, of course. Still quite tanky. Once we get some more damage research bonuses, it will be much easier to deal with them.
Well, this is it for today's episode. Thank you for spending your time with me, and if you have enjoyed it, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. It will really help me a lot. Also, if you have any comments or suggestions, I would love to hear from you. Take care, and until next time.